Welcome everyone, I'm Sudama. We're going to be diving into wondrous Sufi poetry, third round, divine Rumi, divine poetry. First things first, oxygen, breathing, delicious oxygen. Just allow the peace to settle in. Beautiful peace just settling in. To understand Sufi poetry, you almost have to be in meditation, because what they're expressing is so transcendental. So we're preparing, dropping into that deep zone, that infinite ocean energy. Welcome everyone. So nice to travel together. Like inner traveling. Inner bliss is not on the outside. Inner bliss rises from within. I'm just going to breathe into that inner bliss. Good feeling that attracts the healing. Just allowing the authentic experience to flow through you. Beautiful authenticity. Peace. This very intense time of planets doing crazy stuff, full moons, Mars. It's big. So we're just helping balance the universe on the inside out. Well, gazillions of people are all tweaked onto the outside right now, just in a state of apprehension. A lot of folks in fear. So one thing we want to do today is clear some of that collective anxiety, so we're not plugged into that. It's like the collective is a big field of electromagnetics. It's a giant collective around the planet we're all plugged into. People have cancer, so resonate with other folks that have cancer. People have this sort of belief, resonate with those folks. So lots of resonating going on. So we just want to resonate with the deep space. The best outcome, whatever side you're on, in meditation, the best prayer is not for a particular polarity, right? Because then you create the opposite polarity somewhere else. It's like, I think it's the book of Isaiah. There's a text that Greg Braden has deciphered, and he suggests that if you pray for something, that's fine, but you're creating a polarity that's going to be the opposite. Like the negative antimatter particles rise up at the same time. So if you're praying for peace here, you might be actually energizing war there. I mean, it's kind of a strange thought. So what's the solution is to come to the center and bathe in the feeling of the greatest outcome. In other words, whatever the greatest outcome would be, feel that, rather than mind generate it. It's like feel the bliss, feel the goodness, feel the wondrousness. And even if you vote for one side or the other, it's this wondrousness, right, that uplifts the entire collective. Otherwise, we're just sort of pulling off bark, right? We're just kind of like defeating the thing in our polarity show, even though that has to play out. But let's say for peace of mind and for peace in the land, right? We want this heart corridor. We're just going to bask in this glow. A good feeling attracts the healing. So we're clearing collective anxiety, collective fear, collective tension, collective over-anticipation. We're just flowing with the moment. There's no rush, right? Bliss time, right? So just flowing with the moment. Every moment's as good as any other. Probably won't get an outcome anyway tomorrow. I'm thinking probably 3 days. Seems to be when Mars goes direct. I believe that's on the 6th. So we're just allowing the natural forces to play out. That allows us to release from holding on to something. The attachment to an outcome is fine, obviously, but more peace if you're not, right? It's more like some of that Rumi poetry. He says, there's a way of breathing that's a shame and a separation. I read this last time, but it's so good. And there's another way of expiring, a love breath that lets you open infinitely. Wow. Love is for vanishing into the sky. This is how I would die, into the love I have for you, as pieces of cloud dissolve into sunlight. So check in with your dissolution capacity. The ability to be absorbed in meditation, I experienced, is very much dependent on how unattached you are to something exterior for that ship to take you in deeper. Right? It's like 1 foot on the dock, 1 foot on the boat. At some point you make the choice, right? You could jump back on the dock and go about your way. Or you jump onto the boat and it takes you off into the ocean of consciousness. So there's a choice in releasing, letting go. Let's do that. It's like permission to let go is best when there's a whole group of people doing it, right? Then the whole bottle caps just pop right off, right? We just expand. It's like we're tuning until that inner barometer is stronger than our exterior sense perception, right? So you make the shift from the outside to the inside. And you can do it quickly and you can do it slowly. But let's just do it. So we're more anchored in this internal zone. Most of the time we're not anchored there. Stillness clears any illness, whether it's a mental worry, agitation, whether it's sadness, hurt, anger. All these emotions sort of arise and subside back into this great wave form of peace. It's like anger is a little wave that shows up, right? And then it's gone. Very interesting that there's emotions in the heart, and then there's a kind of mental emotions, right? Of worry and anxiety. It's almost, there's a kind of emotional aspect to it, but it's mind-driven, right? So we want to clear both. Mental emotions, heart emotions, gut emotions, liver emotions, spleen emotions, kidney emotions, grief, sadness, fear, dread. Let's say we're just blessing our organs, blessing our glands. It's a healing meditation. The intention is for wondrous good feeling. Organs and glands communicate at the speed of light. Just drop it into that communication system. Breathing through the nose. Oxygen provides 90% of our energy. So we're breathing all the time. And I believe the brain takes 85% of that. So it's a good move to relax brain, relax shoulders and neck. Body starts to disappear after a while. It's still there, but the awareness of it shifts. Breathing. You lift up your robe so as not to wet the hem. Come drown in this sea 1,000 times. Overwhelming nearness blinds the eye. That which keeps lover and beloved separated is the veil. A veil of forgetfulness so close you don't realize it. Only his extreme nearness to you is what veils the divine from you. Everything is the divine. Everything is the beloved. The lover a veil. Living is the beloved, and the lover is dead. In the ruins of the heart, only God remains. And the Sanai says, this world is a desert of shifting sands. I am dust particles in sunlight. I'm the round sun. To the bits of dust I say, stay. So the sun, keep moving. I am morning mist and the breathing of evening. I'm wind at the top of a grove and surf on the cliff. Mast, rudder, helmsman, and keel. I'm also the coral reef they found her on. I'm a tree with a trained parrot in its branches. Silence, thought, and voices. I'm a tree with a trained parrot in its branch. The musical air coming through a flute, a spark off a stone, a flickering in metal, both candle and moth crazy around it. Rose and nightingale lost in the fragrance. I am all orders of being, a circling galaxy. The evolutionary intelligence, the lift, and the falling away. What is and what isn't. You know, Jalaluddin, you, the one in all, say who I am, say I am you. Rumi, Yumi. Not a breath do you expire, but a decree of destiny makes it go forth. God is not veiled from you by some reality existing apart from him. Since there is no reality existing outside of him, what veils him from you is but the illusion that there can be any reality apart from him. A person blended into God does not disappear. He or she is just completely soaked in the qualities. Do you need a quote from the Quran? Says Rumi. Just noticing who's watching out of your very own eyes. Who is this wondrous being observing you being you? Watching yourself, observing yourself. Pure I am awareness. We breathe. Just softening the breath a little more. It's like we're a little harsh with ourselves, right? So to be really gentle, you almost have to be coached, right? It's not necessarily the natural inclination sometimes. We tell ourselves all kinds of stuff. The ocean without a shore, a school of fish discussing the possible existence of the sea. We are the mirror as well as the face in it. We are tasting the taste this minute of eternity. We are pain in what cures pain. We are the sweet cold water in the jar that pours. The radiant one inside me has never said a word. That's what Rumi said when they said, "You're writing too much poetry there." You're writing 50,000 verses, what's up with that? Rumi's like, the dude that abides inside never said a word. There was a dawn, I remember, when the soul heard something from your soul. I drank water from your spring and let the current take me. Meditation comes, it kind of comes like a lake, right? It's like Indra drinking an entire lake of soma, gone into the bliss. Indra's the mythological gods of India. You can drink an entire lake of soma. There are such people. So we just breathe into the goodness. The beauty of mysticism, as far as I'm concerned, is it's all right here, right? You don't have to go anywhere, do anything else, but just be what you are. And by aligning with that, it's just so unbelievably fantastic. It's awesome, right? This beautiful peace. If you weren't made out of this stuff, how could you possibly experience it? We breathe. Beautiful peace. The grief you cry out from draws you towards union. Your pure sadness that wants to help is the secret cup. Listen to the moan of a dog for its master. That whining is the connection. There are love dogs no one knows the names of. Give your life to be one of those love dogs. Start a huge, foolish project like Noah. It makes absolutely no difference what people think of you. I have one small drop of knowing in my soul. Let it dissolve into your ocean. There's so many threats to it. Inside of us, there's the continual autumn. Our leaves fall and are blown out over the water. A crow sits in the blackened limbs and talks about what's gone. Then your generosity returns. Spring, moisture, and intelligence. The smell of hyacinth and cypress. Joseph is back. And then Jesus is breathing again. This is by the poet Saint Kabir. Friend, hope for the guest while you're alive. Jump into experience while you're alive. Think and think while you're alive. What you call salvation belongs to the time before death. If you don't break your ropes while you're alive, you think ghosts are going to do it later? The idea that the soul will join with the ecstatic just because the body is rotting, that is fantasy. What is found now is found then. If you find nothing, then you'll simply end up with an apartment in the city of death. You make love with the divine now, and in the next life, you will have the face satisfy desire. So plunge into the truth. Find out who the teacher is. Believe in the great sound. Kabir says, when the guest is being searched for, it is the intensity of the longing for the guest that does all the work. Look at me, and you will see a slave of this intensity. You sit here for days saying this is a strange business. You are the strange business. You have the energy of the sun in you, but you keep knotting it up at the base of your spine. There's some kind of gold that wants to stay melted in the furnace. So you don't have to become coins. This drunkenness began in some other tavern. When I get back around to that place, I'll be completely sober. Meantime, I'm like a bird from another continent, sitting in the aviary. Who is it now in my ear? What is it now in my heart? Who hears my voice? Who says words with my mouth? There are wild wandering Sufis called Kalandars who are constantly tickled with life. It's scandalous how they love and laugh at every little event. People gossip about them and that makes them deft in their cunning. But really a great God wrestling goes on inside. These wanderers, a flood of sunlight that's drunk with the whole thing. Someone's putting a spell on me. Another expects me to repent. Another runs alongside without feet. Drunk inside the whole thing. Friends rush out into the rain to be soaked with the sky. Eyesight holding understanding. The moon's polite manner. Tell the soldier about to go to war how the cypress tree is turning green. Drunk with the forest. A country with no roads or religions could possibly be drunk with the whole thing. Someone beyond questions of how and what those patches on my road. Someone who watches the sea, Mount Sinai and friend, that comes whispering, drunk with the whole thing. Tell the festival of sacrifice, tell the Quran, tell the gates of heaven. There's a bunch out here singing and drunk with the whole thing. You must lance an ulcer to heal it. You must tear down parts of an old building to restore it. And so it is with a sensual life that has no spirit in it. To change, a person must face the dragon of his appetites with another dragon, the life energy of the soul. And when that's not strong, the world seems to be full of people who have your own fears and wantings. As one thinks this room is spinning when he's whirled around. When your love contracts in anger, the atmosphere itself feels threatening. But when you're expansive, no matter what the weather, you're an open, windy field with friends. Just breathing into that open, windy field with friends. A caravan in the heart. Let's just meditate now. Let all of those amazing words drip like nectar down into the heart. Just feel the elixir of what they conjure up. That inner mystical feeling of divine love in the heart. Breathing through the nose. Letting that oxygen come in through the nose, up into the crown of light. Just blow the top of your head right off with the light. Why not? And then it's like you settle back into the heart. It's a supreme throne of love. Right? Just to be in your captain's chair, totally empowered. All the distant sounds are part of like a symphony of sound surround. There's like a warmth in the chest that signals that the Kundalini energy is happy, it's moving through. You feel that warm glow, that cozy feeling in the heart. It's the wine the Sufis speak of, right? This divine love. The orchard is it's the tavern of drunks on some level. It's an orchard, and yet it's a place where divinely intoxicated people are wandering about. And it's not alcohol that is sending them. A rose and the nightingale. The nightingale is the lover. Rose is the beloved. The secret mystical language of the Sufis to avoid the exoteric condemnation. The more orthodox folks don't like the mystical people. They can't control them. It's like they could put Gandhi in jail, right? But that doesn't stop Gandhi from being Gandhi, being this completely expanded, God-realized being. Matter of fact, I like to use that analogy as a kind of metaphor. Gandhi in jail means, hey, doesn't matter what the external circumstances are, you prevail, right? You're stronger than dirt. You're stronger than the outside in. Good place to be. 51% plus, another way to look at it. Tranquility. It's a good thing. Someone calling. Breathing. Kind of have to charm the mind, right? It's like that monkey needs a treat. Love surfs the long waves. Right? There's larger waveforms at work. Your glands are breaking them down into smaller programs, run the body, but more expanded fractal resonance that we do, these sort of larger magnitudes of giant systems can all come into harmony, right, with your heart. And that very harmonious amplitude feels really good, right? That's proof in the pudding. Energy in your body is shaped by and shapes the breath, right? Because of this mutual interaction. You bring in this incredible prana shakti, just circulating it through the body like golden light. And then remembering Mother Earth, loving you. Gravity is actually something you can work with in a positive way. And same with the energy of fear, actually. You could use it to your advantage. It's energy. It's free. It's just excitement without breath on some level, right? You need more oxygen to sort of garner your power. And then when you're feeling powerful, usually fear is less relevant. Keep knocking, and the joy inside will eventually open a window and look out to see who's there. In the early morning hour, just before the dawn, lover and beloved awake, take a drink of water. She asks, "Do you love me or yourself more? Really, tell me the absolute truth." It says, "There's nothing left of me. I'm like a ruby held up to the sunrise. Is it still a stone or a world made of redness? Wear the sun ruby as an earring." A great teacher went from door to door with a lamp. "He who is not to be found is the one I'm looking for. Beyond wanting, beyond space, inside form, that one," the flute says. "I have no hope for finding that. But love plays, and if the music is played, let the musician finish the poem." Shams, and the water bird flying into the sun. The story of Rumi when he met Shams, evidently there's several versions, but he fell into the rabbit hole of sorts when Shams sort of jumps out of the portico and grabs his donkey rein and says, "Who is greater, Bastami or Muhammad?" And I started telling the story previous Beam Out, but I don't think I finished it. And so actually, Shams is quite impressed by Rumi's answer, because Rumi says, well, Bastami got it all in one great gulp and that thought it was everything. But Muhammad saw the majesty of it all and saw the larger span of time. That cemented the relationship, evidently, and 52,000 verses later, Rumi spun himself into the next dimension. Wallahu, 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 wallahu. Breathing into that light that's just moving through your body. I'm inspired to do some, call it beam out corrective. So anyone wants to catch one of these, if this is anything afflicting you in any way, I'm just going to sort of psych into what I'm feeling to direct. I think everybody's nervous system, central nervous system, could use a reboot. This is refresh. Breathe. Let all that barnacled mineralization release itself as we ionize the hydrogen, ionize the calcium, ionizing, making what is gross more subtle, what is dense more conductive. We want the blood in the body to spiral. It's called laminar flow in the medical world, so just feel that spiraling clockwise blood moving through your veins, circulatory system. Beautiful spiraling blood, just feel that. The vertical blood penetrates better into capillaries. Right? Anything twisting penetrates better. Capillaries are small, blood cells are big. In they go. Adding more elastin to the mix. So your body can stretch. More elasticity in the circulatory. More elasticity in your skin. More elasticity in your digestive organs. So it'll expand to accommodate whatever it is. Your stomach is already super elastic system, right? I don't think you could eat a horse, but you know what I mean, right? You could eat a huge thing. Snakes eat something the same size as them, right? Park for a couple of days, digest. Well, if 90% of our energy is oxygen, then how much are we willing to eat, right? I mean, we need to eat, but we need to eat the right food, but this American tendency to eat so much, right? Better to breathe. It's free. Better for you. Feel like oming right now. That's a really good thing. You vibrate the throat, humming, makes you more relaxed. That's good for the inner child to vibrate with Ma and Pa, the two rivers of DNA. Ma, Pa. I recommend just saying Ma every so often. It's like your body loves it. It's like Ma. Ma. Might have put you out. You're still there. It's okay if you've gone really deep. It's part of the point. Deep space, beautiful peace. Sufi land, mystical consciousness. It's always good to tune into the Hamsa mantra. Hamsa, hum, says itself. It's a Hindu mantra, you could say, but it's really the natural sound of the breath if you're not familiar with it. And when we just hum, inhalation seems to be better. Sa, exhalation. Some people do so, hum the opposite way, but I prefer hum, sa. peace that comes from the Hamsa. If television land makes you crazy in the next few days, drop back into Hamsa, right? Turn that thing off for a while. Just come back into Hamsa. The winner of the election, I'm sure, is destined on some cosmic level. So why do I say that with so much confidence? Probably because Jupiter and Saturn are conjunct on December 21st on the solstice day. 0 degrees Aquarius. This begins the Aquarian age, essentially. We've had a few false starts, but I think we needed the proper shake-up before it, and I think we got it. And so I'm feeling that whatever comes after December 21st is going to be very different than what came before. So I can't imagine it's going to be the same, right? However you want to understand regimes or political parties, it just seems like it's going to be very different. So I'm assuming blue wave on all levels, Aquarian waveform moving into the future. If for no other reason, for the astrological reason, right? We all have our personal feelings, but from an astrological point of view, Mars is going direct on the 6th, so a lot of this pent-up anger and fear and disturbing energy should resolve, actually. Move forward. So tomorrow my plan is just to play music. I'm going to start an hour early or half an hour early, do 4 to 5. Just because everyone is going to turn their TV on at 5 when the polls all start coming in at 8, I'm sure, still on the East Coast. So I'd rather not be competing. You can just turn the music on and TV on and the music. Good feeling, attracting the healing. There's a few more poems here. I don't always do this with the sitar, so it's kind of nice to read Rumi with this kind of sound. You're walking along without feet, as river water does. The taste of wine that is bitter and sweet, seen and unseen, neither wet nor dry, like Jesus reaching to touch. A new road appears without desirous imagining. Inside God's breath, empty. Where you quit saying the name, and there's a distance. No calling dove coo. A window, a wild rose at the field's edge. You'll be me, but don't feel proud or happy. Bend like the limbs of a peace tree. Tend to those who need help. Disappear 3 days with the moon. Don't pray to be healed or look for evidence of some other world. You are the soul. Medicine for what wounds the soul. Don't grieve. Anything you lose comes around in another form. The child weaned from mother's milk and drinks wine and honey mix. God's joy moves from unmarked box to unmarked box, from cell to cell. As rainwater down into a flower bed, as roses up from the ground. Now it looks like a plate of fish or rice. Now a cliff covered with vines. Now a horse being saddled. It hides within these till one day it cracks them open. There's a light gold of wheat in the sun, and the gold of bread made from that wheat. I have neither. I'm only talking about them. There's a town in the desert, looks up at the stars on a clear night. Dissolver of sugar, dissolve me. If this is the time, do it gently, with a touch, with a hand or a look. Every morning I wait at dawn. That's when it happened before. Or do it suddenly like an execution. How else do I get ready for death? You breathe without a body like a spark. You grieve and I begin to feel lighter. You keep me away with your arm. Keeping me away. It's pulling me in. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. 1,000 billion blessings to you all. Be safe. Mañana at 4 o'clock, I'll be playing some upbeat music. And peace.